Welcome everyone to another Age Mythology replay review. My name is ChillButton38, and I'm spawning in on the north side of the map today, playing Freyr in the blue. My opponent today, spawning in on the south side of the map, playing Isis in the red, it's Cleb. As always, if you'd like to see one of your replays featured in my next video, leave your gamertag in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. So, this week, I've been playing a lot of Freyr, and I've been seeing a lot of success. My elo has gone up to over 1100 since I started using this build, and I'll leave a link to the strategy video in this video's description. But, that being said, I've noticed some patterns about what matchups I'm losing with this strategy and what matchups I'm winning. So, it's great in any game against pretty much any Norse opponent, including Thor, who is supposed to be absolutely broken this patch. It's great against most of the Atlantean gods and most of the Egyptian gods, but for whatever reason, I've had little to no success in 3 matchups. First, against any of the Greek gods. Second, against Gaia. And third, against Isis. Now, I'm going to look into the answer to the Greek Pantheon problem in a later video, but today I want to focus on the matchups against Isis and to some extent against Gaia, because I suspect that the problem I'm having against them is kind of the same. And my guess is that the main problem is that both Gaia and Isis are just out-booming me, and as a result are able to win in the late game due to a superior economy. But I'm sure the answer here is more complicated than just do better at economy. So let's dig into the game and see what we can learn. So scouting patterns. I'm getting better about making sure that I scout the middle of this watering hole early on in the game. Still not getting a lot of information off the map. It might be worth it to start building my house somewhere a little more forward and just risking losing that wood investment. Let's check in on Cleb. So it looks like Cleb just went straight across the backside of his part of the map, built a couple of obelisks, and the priest is now coming back to his main entrance to his base to build another obelisk. That's interesting, and I think this is the first Egypt game we've seen on the channel, so I can't really speak to how common that is. Let me know in the comments if that's something you guys expect to see from an Egypt player, or what you do when you're scouting as Egypt. So his temple's going up, my temple a little bit behind, but not too far behind. We've both queued up our second ages. I'm going Uller, which as I've said before is my go-to playing Freyr. Meanwhile, Cleb is going with Anubis. And although I don't play a ton of Egypt, I do play against enough Egypt players to know that this is a little bit odd. Usually if they have access to Bast, which Isis does, you're going to see them go for Bast, both for the economic techs and also for those sphinxes. They're really good for early aggression. But today we're going to be seeing Anubis, and that means Anubites. So Cleb focusing gold pretty heavily here. This is not abnormal for Egypt players. Their whole civ is pretty gold heavy, so gold is their priority, which also means that if you're playing against them, it should be your priority to deny them gold. Age Up comes in for Cleb, a little bit in advance of mine, but again, not too much in advance. I've got my ecotechs already coming in, and I got the hand axe and pickaxe before the Age Up. Cleb just has his pickaxe. So I have an ecotech advantage going into Age 2. I have a small villager advantage. I have a decent military advantage. But Cleb is taking a 5-minute and probably 15-second or so town center. Yeah, that's pretty fast. I am not far away from being able to afford a town center myself. Got a couple longhouses coming down so that I can eventually build one. But let's see. Yes, unfortunately, I do not know where my safe town center is at this point in the game. I know that there will be one somewhere on this side of the map. There always is. But I don't know where it is. So it's going to make it hard to compete with Cleb's 5-minute and 15-second town center. And that villager lead that I had is already starting to evaporate. And the longer that he has his second TC up that I don't have mine, it's just going to get worse. So, I still don't know where this second town center is, but I am going to go ahead and move forward on the map and drop a Asgardian hill fort to guard this gold mine. I have one safe gold mine in my base, and I think I probably don't know about this other one. Nope. Yeah, so just trying to secure my second gold mine. A Nubite comes in and drops Plague of Serpents. Looks like the Anubite might... Oh, nope, it's going to get out probably. Serpents are going to disrupt the villagers' gathering hunt here, but my Herser shouldn't have any problem dealing with them. Anubite is going to make its way back across the map, so that's unfortunate. This hill fort's going to go up, and not really a threat from the Serpents or the Anubite. But look at my response here. Just that little bit of aggression. And I spam queue up infantry units. Because I now anticipate that I'm going to be seeing some more aggression. This is probably my first big mistake, other than not scouting out my second town center location, is this mass build-up here. Because while I was pretty close to taking a second town center, now that I've dumped all my wood into throwing axemen, even if I were to find a safe second town center location, I'm going to need a little bit of time to get those resources back. Hill fort does go up, though, so I've secured a second gold mine. And I do have the military advantage in both number and value, but Cleb is aging up with Nephthys. I'm going to give her access to the Scorpion Man. At... what time is she going to get up? 75 seconds. Okay, so looking at maybe 8:30. I don't think that's a super fast heroic age timing, but I'm nowhere close to going heroic age. Mostly because, again, I've invested so much into my military here, anticipating more aggression. Gold getting gathered very rapidly on Cleb's side of the map with the prosperity down. First gold mine about to be exhausted. I've not managed to deny any eco at this point in the game. I've been completely confined to my base. And heroic age comes in for Cleb. Scorpion Man's going to be coming out. And 2 Migdol strongholds going down on Cleb's least deplenished gold mine. So, going to be expecting to see some Migdol units coming out as well. It's going to take a while for Cleb to match me in terms of military count, but I have to figure out now how to get to the heroic age and how to get a second town center. So he's got some time to do that. Got the Great Hall coming out, and I believe I did that for scouting, so I should now know... Yes, I now know about this town center location. Haven't made a move to take it quite yet. Doesn't look like I have the resources, primarily because of all these buildings and units that I've made. But I am going to send some units over there with the ultimate goal of taking this town center and hopefully keeping myself in this game. I obviously don't realize... I don't know anything about his base, so I don't know how many town centers he's on. I know he hasn't taken either of the middle ones, so I don't have any way to gauge how far behind him I am at this point. Raiding Cavalry is going to come down and try and get some scouting done. Take my first look at his side of the map. And I am sending villagers onto this forward gold mine, hopefully to be protected by this Asgardian hill fort. Most of the military units are here to guard the gold vills, but I do have some kind of standing over here by the town center waiting to be able to build that. Cleb coming in for a raid here, going mostly for camel riders at this point. Do see some chariot archers coming out. I'm going to be getting a lot of damage with that Scorpion Man onto those food villagers. A little slow to react here, and having an entirely infantry composition, it's going to take me a little while to get there anyway. Am able to push this back, and I do still have a military advantage at this point. I probably should try to take this fight. It looks like I'm going to. The chariot archers are going to start kiting my infantry, which is going to reduce their numbers pretty quickly. These chariot archers, not only do they do bonus damage against infantry, they have a 15.4 base attack, so I can't really afford to fight them for too awful long without thinning out their numbers pretty significantly. Cleb is going to have to fall back off this position, and I am going to get some damage in on these villagers, but my front line gets completely cleaned up here. I'm going to lose this Draugr if I'm not careful. Yep. I do manage to take out one more chariot archer, but I don't think that's a trade I really should have made, because now I have to retreat with these slow-moving infantry, and these chariot archers are just going to be able to completely clean me up as we go back into the base. Cleb has taken the military lead, has a 20 villager lead on me. I do have my second town center up, and I have some military I can send to the front, but it's going to take some doing on my part to get back into this game. Cleb comes back in to finish off those food villagers that he tried to take out earlier, and I don't really feel like I have enough here to respond. Gold villagers are going to have to get pulled back to a secondary gold mine further inside the base. Still haven't moved these military units back, and I could really use them probably right over here at this point. So I'm going into raiding cavalry here, primarily to deal with these chariot archers. They're counter-infantry units. I want to build infantry, so I need to take them out if my army's going to have any chance of success. But with the benefit of hindsight, I don't think I don't think raiding cavalry are the move against chariot archers and camels. Primarily because these camel riders get a 2 times damage bonus against cavalry. So even though my raiding cavalry are going to counter their chariot archers, I'm going to need a significant number of them in order to do that before the camel riders can clean up my raiding cavalry. And as the Norse, I have access to arguably a better unit for this situation in the Huskarl. They have a very high pierce armor, so they're not going to take as much damage as most of my units against these chariot archers. And they won't take the bonus damage against the camel riders, although they don't deal any bonus damage themselves. Raids coming in on my wood line. Just a few camel archers, continuing that pressure. Not attempting to, do any real infrastructure damage here, just some little annoying raids. Villagers get called into the town center. I don't want to lose them. I don't want to send my military back to deal with these 2 camel riders. So I'm going to be able to get quite a bit of damage in. It looks like I don't quite have boiling oil, so as long as these camel riders stand under this tower, I can't actually damage them without units here. Finally, camel riders in the base are going to be going down. Military at this point looks to be building walls and standing around the great halls we just built. Cavalry upgrades coming in, doubling down on the raiding cavalry counter. But at this point, Cleb feels comfortable to move on to the center of the map, giving him access to even more gold that I have not been able to deny from the Egypt player. So as this game goes on, my position continues to worsen. Healing coming in from quite a ways away on these units here. Wow, those monuments heal in a wide radius. So as long as this monument's empowered and these units are standing in this circle, they're gonna slowly heal. That's pretty wild. Walls have successfully gone up over the secondary entrance to my base. Small force of camels look to try and take them down, but I have a couple herdmen here, which should be able to deal with these camels pretty efficiently. It looks like Cleb's going to let me get away with it, mostly because he doesn't want me to discover this town center that's going up, probably. Decides to go ahead and send those chariot archers over there to deal with this infantry. I can't even really afford to repair this wall for very long because these chariot archers are going to be able to really effectively take out these units. So, you got to pull them back. Most of the military mass still just guarding the main entrance here. I feel pretty safe because I have these walls up, even if they aren't going to be up for very long. Secondary wall coming down, but it's probably not going to get up in time. Man, even with mostly chariot archers, those walls just go down so quickly. And now the chariot archers can actually reach the units, and there's no way these walls get up. Lots of raiding cavalry coming out for me at this point, but it's not going to be enough to deal with this number of chariot archers. And that's even without considering the fact that spearmen now being added to the mix, and these camel riders are still floating around out here. Another monument goes up, going to allow him to get a very forward healing position. Migdal coming up as well. And Cleb has just managed to completely take map control at this point. So, how did we get here? First of all, it's the second town center. Able to get, a faster age up time than me because of a better economy. It's that early aggression that made me too afraid to move out onto the map, even though I had the military advantage for a significant portion of this game. And it's taking advantage of a pretty hard counter for the Norse in these chariot archers. Again, it feels like the right answer should be raiding cavalry, because they counter archers, chariot archers are archers, so on and so forth. But because Egypt has access to these camel riders, I really think I would have been better off building huscarls here to try and deal with these raiding cavalry. And at this point, if I don't manage to thin out these numbers significantly, I'm completely out of this game. So Tempest is going to be coming down, but chariot archers are a pretty fast unit. They're going to be able to get out of the radius of effect pretty quickly. And now I'm left just fighting on the edge of the Tempest, hoping that some of these units might get hit. Not many of them are. Chariot archers standing strong for Cleb. Still got 24 in the mix. My military presence in the center of the map is just completely evaporated. Some cavalry come in trying to clean up some more of these archers, but now camel riders are joining the fray in greater numbers, and it's just not going to be enough. Ancestors also helping defend in the center here. My entire military presence is gone, and with that, it's going to be GG. Take a look at the graphs. So, I had a sizable military advantage from about 7 minutes to about 12 minutes. And I think that might be the first solution to the matchup against both Gaia and Isis. With these units, if I could have moved into his base and punished the second town center, or just gotten some kind of economic damage off, it would have bought me some time to find my second town center and limit the villager gap between the two of us. Second, I think playing Freyr into a boomy defensive civ like Gaia or like Isis, it's probably better to go ahead and go Freya. Get that Valkyrie out, go into some raiding cavalry, and get some early economic damage off that way. Finally, as always, the first place to look for problems is your army composition. And here, I'll admit, I did not know about the double damage for the camel riders until I was making this video, because I don't play Egypt hardly ever. But, knowing what I know now, if I could go back and play this game again, I would have started making Huskarls instead of making those raiding cavalry, and I think that would have been a composition that probably would have yielded me more success. Anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel gain traction. Until next time, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you in the next game.